Well, today I've swapped the chamber for a boxing ring, and Anthony from Phoenix Gym has invited me along today just to talk a little bit about what you do here. Can you start off introducing yourself and what is Phoenix Gym?
Phoenix Gym's been in Canberra for about 26 years, and it's a combat sports gym that specialises in Muay Thai. So it's like kickboxing, it's a very physical activity.
When did you first establish, when did you set up?
We opened in 1996 in Dixon, and about 20 years ago we moved out to Mitchell's. We're in Heffernan Street in Mitchell, just near the Mitchell shops.
What services do you
well, the main thing we do as Muay Thai, the main reason people do it is to teach their kids to be stronger kids and to teach adults to be stronger people. So it's a sport that is very, very physical, but most of the people that do it for stress release, to get fit. We have a lot of kids from 5 years old, we have a lot of teenagers, and parents generally get them to train to learn self-defense, but also because it makes people more resilient and stronger, which has been increasingly more important over the last, since COVID than it's ever been in the 20 years we've been open. And a lot of adults train just for fitness, a bit of self-defense. It's a very sort of action-orientated physical sport, and that's, there's a lot of people that love it.
What got you into this sport in the first place?
Well, I do this mostly as a hobby and a love, but I grew up in Canberra, went to Kaleen High and Copeland College, and then I joined the Army for 10 or 11 years, and I was an intelligence corps officer in the Army, and I got out of that to be an athlete. So I trained as a professional fighter for a number of years, and then the only way to fund that, because it's the word professional, we get paid nothing, and I opened a gym to coach about 25 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since.
As I understand, there's a lot of benefits psychologically as well, and being able to handle certain situations, be able to think through situations that you might...
Well, most of it's a very physical sport, like boxing, but more aggressive and harder with kicks and punches. But really, it's mentally tough. It makes you mentally tougher. It's physically very hard. You have to be disciplined. You have to try really hard. You have to be consistent. It does improve your mental strength. A lot of adults do it for stress relief. A lot of kids do it. Their parents make them do it for resilience training, but also a lot of discipline. A lot of things that just aren't everywhere in society like they used to be, like being structured, being organised. It's a very hard sort of place to physically train, but people get a lot out of it because it takes a fair bit of commitment and discipline. So the fighting side of it is really not the main thing. That's what's it's dressed up as, but mostly it's about making people stronger. We do a fair few school groups that as one-offs, but mostly it's membership based, because you only get benefit out of something when you do it consistently over a long period of time. And there's no course that's going to teach you to be resilient or mentally tough in one day.
You mentioned that schools come along. Can you tell us a little bit what's involved with that? The students come in here, what sort of activities?
When we have schools, it's generally a one-off trial or a short course in self-defense. So we do talks about awareness and protective behaviour, and talks about dealing with strangers and where risks and threats come from, and how to handle yourself in a more non-physical way to avoid conflict. But then everyone loves to hit things, so we do pull out the shields and hit stuff and teach the kids how to be empowered and feel strong when they do things. It's different to a lot of martial arts in the way that very little of it is in the air, or most of it is into equipment or bags, so people really do get a physical side of hitting things.
It looks like you got a lot of the leading equipment here, looking around this place. Can you tell us a little bit about what equipment you have here?
Well, as a specialist gym, we've always spent a lot of money on having the best sort of stuff to do what we do. So we're a professional gym. We do train professional fighters, so you've got to have the best, stuff. So, it's from Thailand, China. Some of it's made in Australia. It's from all over the place. We just got to get the best stuff. So we have, boxing rings and bags and very expensive flooring, so that we can hit each other and fall over and get up and be happy about it and go home.
Yeah, who would think that you'll go to a gym, practice, have a blue with someone and walk away with a smile on your back?
Yeah, you always have better friendships with people you go through difficult situations with. And the membership, once you've been a member for a while and you face challenges together and work hard together, then it does create a lot of camaraderie. And it is very sort of humbling as well. It's very hard to have a bit of an attitude or have a bit of an ego, or just to be a big mouth in this type of environment, because someone will knock you down. And it is a very physical thing, but it does make people more honest and more on the same level, because it's a very strict place. There's a lot more respect between people that do martial arts and combat sports, because we know that people are different. because when it comes down to punching and kicking, there is physical differences, and you have to have a lot of respect and maturity to do it.
So tell us, how can people get in touch? How do they find you?
We have a web page which is just phoenixgym.com.au. We've been around 25 years. We do very little marketing because everything we do is membership based or referral based and word of mouth, and that's a bit different these days. We don't do a lot of marketing or internet marketing, but we can look at our web page. You can drop into our place in Heffernan Street and just come along. We do free trials. It's not like we're not a massive franchise. We don't have all these strict rules about locked-in contracts and all these sort of things, but when we don't have sales teams and marketing teams.
What are some of the challenges that you've faced running your business, particularly since the late 90s to where we are today?
Any small business is going to have multiple challenges all the time, and ours are a lot based around keeping good staff, getting good staff, but there's a lot of bureaucracy involved. Anywhere in Canberra, it's not easy to run a small business. You don't get, you have to really look for the government support, and it's really hard to get things like maintenance on a public level, like to get Mitchell to look not as nice as Braddon, or to get people to look after the streets when people have this idea of it's an industrial suburb, when there's restaurants here and there's beauty parlours here and there's supermarkets, but it's very hard to get Mitchell to be as cared for.
Well, obviously your business is about providing martial arts supports, right, to people that come along here. Your core business isn't necessarily actioning the government to come and do urban services, let's say. That certainly takes you away from your core business. And yeah, 100% right, that Mitchell is so diverse. It's no longer a small industrial area. Like you said, we have retail, we have a supermarket as well. We've got industrial, light as well as medium to heavy. Mitchell has so much more to offer. So I think, rightfully so, business owners in this district should expect investment from this government to ensure that Mitchell is well presented and can cater for the community.
Yeah, very much. There's not a lot of choice in Canberra for some businesses, especially start-up businesses. It's very expensive and very hard to find good locations. And that's a challenge for everyone that wants to go into business.
All right, well, it's been very exciting having a chat. I think it's time for us to take a look around this place, and you can give me some demonstrations on some of the equipment that you have here, and we'll see how we go.
Okay.
Excellent, let's do it.